there, Enthusiacs. Welcome to Hero Talk. I am Judge Greg. Joining me today in the hallowed halls of Hero Talk, I have the Black Dragon himself, Vernon. Vernon, welcome back to Hero Talk.
Ba weep grana weep miniban all.
Nice. Nice. I don't believe we've ever dropped a universal greeting reference in Hero Talk before.
I've been doing it all the time now.
Well you should. All right. So we're doing something different today, Vernon. I'm pretending like I'm telling you for the first time. Like we didn't
talk about this.
Like we didn't plan this or do a pre-show or haven't talked about this for the last couple of weeks. Yeah. So Vernon, did you know we're going to do something different today?
No, not at all. What are we doing?
So today I'm gonna a little backstory, again, under the pretense of telling you, Vernon, as though we haven't talked about this already off the mic.
Please do, yes.
So what's been happening lately is I find that there's a whole lot of movie news or movie trailers and stuff that I have reactions to that drops. And while I do host a movie podcast, that is Hero Talk, the one you are currently listening to, listeners, it's mostly for reviewing shows in depth, and I didn't really have any way to talk about the new stuff that drops, because I can't talk about it in a normal Hero Talk, because that would either go too long, or it would be like 4 months before that actual Hero Talk was released, and then it would horribly date it, you know. I can't release a Hero Talk that comes out in August where I say, did you see a trailer for that new Wonder Woman movie? Because this would have been out already. So what ended up happening is, as you know, sometimes I co-host the Gamers Without Borders podcast, because apparently I like to make myself suffer by giving myself extra stuff to do, although it's a lot of fun and I don't mind doing it. So
fantastic podcast, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to take partial credit for that as a guest host. But yeah, don't. So when Nick listens, Nick, I'm not saying I don't want to do it anymore. That's not what I'm saying. I just think it's funny that I have my hands so full on Enthusiacs, and he's like, do you want to co-host with me? And I say, would I? And then I jump on it, you know. I just love being on podcasts, Vernon. I think that's what it is. I think I would, honestly, I can't think of a podcast I wouldn't go on.
It's a couple of Power Rangers podcasts I think you might not want to go on.
I could talk about Mighty Morphin. I know Mighty Morphin.
That's the thing. They talk about the Sentai too.
I guess that's I could fake it. That's what Wikipedia's for.
Just pull off the old nod and smile, although I don't know how that works on podcasts.
No, I've heard that. Yeah, no, totally. Totally. Right. Yeah, what about Trini?
Rest in peace.
May she rest in peace. Yeah, that was a horrible reference, but oh well, I'm not cutting that. Anyway, so the idea here is that, well, I do love going on the Gamers Without Borders podcast, and I love that I bring the movie news with me when I go. It would be nice if I had my own outlet right here on Enthusiacs.com, where we could talk about some of this news that drops, because I feel like it's kind of odd that the movie podcast guy has no method of talking about movie news and TV news and stuff like that happens. So this podcast will be a monthly, more or less, Hero Talk will come out first week of the month. This one's going to be a little odd because I've got this one coming out, and it's going to be really towards the end of May, but I can't wait a week because I'm really trying to get a Wonder Woman Hero Talk in that next week, and because I'd like to get that out while it's still in theaters and strike while the iron's hot. Sure. So anyway, but the premise is, first week of every month, I do a monthly news topic update. I haven't come up with a name for these yet, so hopefully we got something by next month. I got 4 weeks to think about it.
Hero Bytes.
Hero Bytes?
Yeah. Huh. With Y instead of I.
I could do that, yeah. There's all kinds of stuff I could call it. But anyway, it'll be a monthly podcast where we talk about some of the news and some of the updates and trailers and stuff that happened in the last month, and we can talk about it. And it's kind of more your traditional podcast format, whereas Hero Talk is kind of its own beast. I would say the Hero Talk. What would I call this? Hero Talk proper? Hero Talk traditional?
Yeah, Hero Talk proper. Justice League versus Justice League Unlimited. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's going to be a part of the same family, but it's just going to be one of the podcasts every month is going to be a little different, and then the regular Hero Talk propers will just go in between. I mean, I think other podcasts have done this before. I don't think this is not super original. I probably heard somebody do it and thought that's a good way, and I can't even remember who it is to give them credit. So,
it's okay. We'll take credit for it until you figure it out.
Absolutely. That's what I'm good at. All right, so here we are. We are in the monthly Hero Talk I promise we'll come up with a better name. But for this week, you just get this because it was an introduction and it's a new premise. And in order to help out our listeners who really don't like spoilers, and I know for a fact there's a few people out there who just won't listen to Hero Talk to avoid spoilers. Hero Talk proper episodes will still be heavy on the spoilers, but this monthly will be a spoiler-free. To the maximum extent it can be. I mean, like, when you say spoiler-free, obviously, we're talking about trailers, so stuff that's in the trailer we're going to talk about. So, if you're one of those people, like, says, I cannot watch Spider-Man if I've seen it, I don't want to see anything, well, we're probably going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff in the trailer. I mean, we're not going to...
Yeah.
It's not going to be an in-depth review, and we're certainly not going to talk about stuff that hasn't been officially released, but, you know, if it's in the trailer, it's probably going to come up, and, I mean, we sometimes, given how Warner Brothers does things, we're actually a little better than the trailers. We hold back a little bit more than even the studio does. So,
wow, I haven't thought about Justice League in a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Justice League. All right, anyway. Well, maybe we'll get to that. Who knows? This is our first run. We don't even know how much we're going to spend talking about the stuff here, so we're just going to roll in with, I guess, we don't do this on the normal podcast, and this is a nice thing. People like this. So, Vernon, what have you been watching and playing and stuff lately?
I have been watching a lot of Power Rangers. I am currently on Power Rangers Ninja Storm, which is pissing me the hell off. It's
wow.
Just I'm only on the second episode and it's super annoying. Like, I mean, they're doing their thing. They're superheroes essentially in spandex, but they just won't shut up when they're fighting. Just fight and stop quipping. It's like the last Avengers movie, like, well, not Civil War, but actually Age of Ultron, where everyone has a quip for every situation. So I'm just like, and I hate the characters. So that's what I'm watching lately. I may kind of skip to the plot important episodes. And so if you guys have any, I've never watched Ninja Storm before, so if any Power Ranger fans out there know which ones are the plot episodes and which ones are filler, I can skip the filler and just go right to the plot episodes and get to the finale and be done. What have I been playing? Boy, I have 7 consoles and a PC, and I've not been playing anything. Scratch that. I have been playing, Pokemon Gold for, like, when I'm waiting at the doctor's office, so that was recent.
Pokemon. How recent is Pokemon Gold? Is that like a 3DS one, or what is that?
No. This is a throwback to. This is the Gold and Silver. Were right after Red and Blue and Yellow.
Oh, okay. So this is way back
in the day. Yeah, I downloaded an app. It's an emulator, so I can download the files and basically play it on my phone or tablet.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been watching and playing?
Oh, what have I been watching? So I have been So I bought a Mass Effect Andromeda, and I actually enjoyed it, but and I don't know if you picked up on this. I had a brief conversation with some of the Enthusiacs on, and with Nick from the Gamers Without Borders podcast, dropping a reference to you. Nick, you were getting all kinds of free shout-outs on Hero Talk this week. I was talking about how it kept crashing my PS4.
I remember seeing that in the little chat that we have. Yeah, what's that about? Did it ever fix itself?
No, it still happens. I think I have a bad PS4 because Until Dawn did the same thing.
So, right.
So I thought Until Dawn was giving me problems, but then it kept happening for Mass Effect Andromeda. So I'm like, well, now the common factor is I think I just got a bad PS4. PlayStation. Yeah, I think I just got a bad PS4. Either got a bad heatsink or something's going on. But man, it's giving me all kinds of problems. And I will not ship that sucker in to get repaired because I had such a terrible time when I did that with my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
It was 6 months, weekly phone calls to customer service. It wasn't until I finally filed a Better Business Bureau complaint was when I actually finally, that's when they finally got, we're talking like this was, it was all Microsoft's fault too. Every aspect of this was Microsoft's fault. And the entire time they're basically saying like, well, how do we know you didn't do it? And so at one point, like, I was even talking to the customer service guy, like, because once you file the Better Business Bureau complaint, then they actually will give you a call because, they have to take care of that. And he said, we're sorry that we never actually got in touch with you like we said we would, but we usually figure that people who do that are lying, and so we just tell them we're going to call and we don't call them back. And then if they don't try to follow it up anymore, then we know they were lying. But then if they escalate it, then we know they were telling the truth.
So then what? They would have kept your console if you didn't follow up?
Well, I had my console. So what happened is, just the brief is, I sent it to them for repairs because my console, it didn't have the red ring of death, but it had like the flashy green lights of death.
Yeah.
So I sent it to them for repair. And when I got my console back, it looked like to repair it, they just hit it with a hammer a bunch of times. I mean, to the point, like, stuff was rattling inside. I mean, at one point, our customer service said, well, did you try turning it on? I'm like, are you serious? Things didn't cause a fire. But I said, like, you know what? For you, I will. And, of course, nothing happens, like, because clearly the thing's been broken to just itty-bitty pieces inside. And they said it was in good working order when it left the facility, so I don't know if they didn't wrap it properly or what happened, but the UPS guy got mad and drop-kicked it, who knows. But the thing was just broken. And so they said, oh, well, send it back to us, and then we'll assess, and then we'll replace it if we have to. So far, so good. I send it back, and then, 2 days later, I get the notice that they're shipping, that I'm getting a return shipment. I'm like, oh, so they looked at it and said, oh, here's your new... So I get it back, the same Xbox, same beaten, broken, like, pounded with a hammer Xbox, with a note that says, we can't fix this, it's too broken and it's been tampered with. And so that started this whole 6-month routine of, they wouldn't take the calls, and they said, well, we can't do anything about it because it looks like it's been physically damaged. And I'm like, yeah, you physically damaged it. I sent you a moderately working Xbox, and then you guys smacked it with a hammer and sent it back, and that went on and so the thing that they would say was like, well, we'll have somebody from our stateside customer care office call you. Let's set up a time, and they'll call you between 1 and 3 on such and such a day. And then they wouldn't. And then I call and be like, oh, well, we'll set it up for this time. And then they wouldn't. And then that's when that is when I had to go and say, you know what? Nope, gotta file a Better Business Bureau. And they have so many days to respond to it. And so, of course, the second to last day is when I get the response. And, the guy says his wonderful thing. So he says, but here's what we'll do. We will send you a new Xbox. And I said, fine. And they're like, all right, so here it is, and you should be getting that momentarily. And then, 3-4 weeks goes by, I don't have it. So I finally have to, update the complaint with Better Business Bureau and saying, so here's what they said they were going to do, and here's what they did. Nothing. So the guy calls me back, oh, we are so sorry. I don't know what happened. They said it was on the way, and then it got turned around, and we don't know. We've totally lost it. But just to apologize for all the inconvenience, we'd like to give you a free copy of either Gotham Project Racing or Banjo-Kazooie. I was like,
that's a huge middle finger.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
You know how old those games are?
I know. I know. I'm like, listen, if you paid me $20 to take those games, I wouldn't take it. And I'm sorry to fans of those games, but I didn't want them. And so he said, look, well, we can give you either a controller or a wireless charger for a controller. And I said,
just send the console.
Yeah. Well, these were going to be in addition to the console.
Oh,
this is their we're sorry. And I said, how about you send me both? And he's like, I have to get approval from my higher ups. And I was like, you go do that. I just I wanted an extra drop of blood, because it'd been 6 months at that point of back and forth. And
good God.
Yeah, so finally I got it, and I got my charger and my extra battery thing. And of course I was, I had 4 controllers already, so that 5th one was worth nothing to me other than just to make sure that I had to make him go to a supervisor and be like, so we've screwed this guy over bad, and we should probably do this for him. Because it got approved. If there even was a supervisor. I don't know. Maybe that's something they say.
Probably wasn't.
I mean, bear in mind that that Microsoft screwed the pooch on this. And after all this, I'm still a bigger fan of Xbox than I am of PlayStation. Because the PlayStation, a few years later, lost all my personal information that had sat on that little fact for a while. So... But when you hear me say, don't have brand loyalty, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more so all right, well, we live in a world where, if you spend your money wisely, you can have all of them, but that's just terrible. I mean, that's like dealing with a cable company.
Yeah, that was... That was awful. So anyway, the whole point of that giant rant that I did not want to get into, but here we are. I did it. I couldn't really play Mass Effect Andromeda, and so I have been spending my time. I had been so behind in all of my CW DC shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're talking. It was back around Thanksgiving was where I left off.
Okay. I'm not caught up with like the current seasons at all.
Okay. So I was, but I was trying to watch them as they were coming out, and so what I just did is made a very dedicated effort to go through my DVR and catch up, and so I actually finally caught up, and I just saw all the season finales. So now I'm a little Arrowversed out, to be honest with you, because that's been my free time for the last few weeks, is just desperately trying to get myself caught up on those.
Yeah, I hear you there.
But,
I got a little tired once I was toward the end of Flash season 2, and now they're at the end of season 3, so that should be coming on Netflix.
Yeah,
I don't know, soon. But
not to spoil it for you, but there's an evil speedster, and Barry's not fast enough.
He spends the whole season trying to get faster?
Yes. Yep, that's about right. Yep.
Okay. How fast can he go?
Just like I could not believe when that happened. When they showed that, I'm like, are we serious? That's the premise again?
I mean, I've caught all the spoilers, so I know what's going on, but I haven't watched it, so I don't know if like I'm missing itty bitty details. But it's hilarious. It's so good.
Yeah, I just enough with the evil speedsters. Okay, we cannot, for season 4, you cannot have another evil speedster. You can't.
No, Eobard Thawne is going to come back, and this will be a different Eobard Thawne from a different Earth and a different time.
Okay. Well, let's not get too far into the spoiler territory here. So anyway, that's what I've been up to in my spare time. So let's talk about some of the news that's been happening lately, and as long as we're talking about the CW, there's going to be a new superhero show on the CW starting mid-season next year.
Super looking forward to it.
Yeah. So
I may have to get cable.
Yeah, Black Lightning. I mean, Black freaking Lightning is coming to the CW. I love Black Lightning. I don't know about you, Vernon. I love Black Lightning.
I didn't grow up with him. I can't quite figure out like what type of hero he is, what list of hero he's in. Like Superman and Batman, those are A-list heroes. Then you have your B's and C's and D's. I'm thinking he might be a C or a D hero, D-list hero.
He's kind of a C or a D, but about 10 years or so ago, he kind of got the call up to the big leagues.
Yeah.
And what they did with him, and it looks like they're kind of doing the same thing in the series, is they kind of play like he's the hero that's been around forever. You know, he hasn't made national news. You know, the Daily Planet isn't going on and on and on about him and his exploits. Yeah. But he's been around forever. And so now he's like this older, experienced, kind of tougher, like, I've seen it all. You're not going to surprise me now. And he really sort of becomes that kind of experienced voice. Like, you know, a lot when the younger heroes are around, he's like, yeah, son, I've seen everything that you could possibly throw at me already. Yeah. What new are you bringing to the table that I haven't seen? And then his daughter is a superhero too. And so, you know, there was a lot going on with that. So I really liked him when he was in that whole role of, I've been around forever, you know, I'm now mentoring the young kids. At the same time, I'm the voice of experience, and I think he was co-leader of the Justice League with Black Canary during that run, which was a really good run of Justice League. I enjoy it when I get some characters that I don't normally see, and so that was where you had, like, Black Canary was a main character, Vixen was brought in, trying to think who else was around. I think Red Arrow might have been in the Justice League at that time.
Oh, he wasn't in the Titans.
No, he had graduated past the Titans at that point.
Okay. Yeah, the Black Lightning I had to read up on because I wasn't as familiar with this particular character, but I'm glad that we're getting more superheroes that aren't very well known. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're finally going to get into this particular one, which opens up the door for so many other things, like, you know, potentially doing some stuff with the Justice League, bringing in Static Shock.
My boy Static Shock.
For those of you who don't know, he's Black Lightning acts as Static's mentor at some point. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And plus, I do appreciate not only the not well-known character, but character of a darker skin tone, coming into the running things and getting his own
Yeah,
little slice
being
of
the
pie.
headlining act.
Pretty much, yeah. Because Spartan doesn't do it for me.
I mean,
Doesn't really count.
he doesn't count. I love Spartan. Let me make sure this is emphatically clear. I love
Really?
Spartan. He's the last one on Arrow who I like because.
Really?
Well, who do you like on Arrow? They're all unlikable people except for maybe Spartan.
I'm gonna agree that I like Spartan as a character, but I liked him when he was just Diggle.
Okay, then yeah,
now
I will give you that. I liked him when he was Diggle without the mask. When he I mean, he was almost too cool for school. I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah, like they gave him a bulletproof vest and a motorcycle helmet and sometimes rubber rounds and sometimes actual bullets, like
I'm
or
never too
sometimes
clear.
Stun darts.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what he uses most of the time, but yeah, he just looked like he just hopped off a motorcycle and he modified the helmet.
I mean, yeah, I'll give you. I don't like the name Spartan and I don't like the helmet, but John Diggle is my favorite character from the show. And I liked it better when he was just Dig, you know?
It's great that you point out that they're all terrible characters.
Oh, they're all awful people that just annoy me. I cannot. Every single season, it's always like, all right, no more secrets. And then 2 seconds later, I'm going to keep a secret. Come on! Did you not learn anything?
It's to protect you. I thought you would break down and never recover.
Yeah. Every time. Oh, it's to protect you. Oh, I did it for you. I did it to protect you. I was like, how could you not trust us, Oliver? And I'm like, yeah, give it 10 minutes. You'll be back.
You guys will be cool again.
Mm-hmm.
Dig is the main dude. I appreciate him, but Spartan, not so much.
Yeah. Now, Black Lightning. Now, this is what's really kind of bothering me is because they came out and said, because they're going to do a whole another, a 4-night, I don't know if it's going to be a 4-night crossover, because last time they said that, the first night was kind of a cop-out. But another 4-show crossover episode. And they specifically said that Black Lightning wouldn't be a part of it because he's not a part of the Arrowverse. Now, logistically, I can see why you don't want to do that, because all 4 of the main shows that have been out so far, they're filmed in Toronto. Or, not Toronto, Vancouver. Canada somewhere.
Canada, there you go.
Canada. They're filmed in Canada. So, but they all film in the same location, which is why you can cross over so much, because everyone's physically there in the same city. Whereas Black Lightning is going to be recorded in Georgia.
Okay.
So I mean, so it's just not quite as easy for the constant crossovers. However, I mean, when you say he's not in the Arrowverse, you say that now, but at one point in time, Supergirl wasn't in the Arrowverse.
Right. I mean, they all have the same executive producer. And I guess even if they're not going to be crossing over as much, I would still like it to be part of the Arrowverse, especially if it's going to be on the same channel. Because originally, I don't know if you read this, but it was going to be on Fox. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they rejected it, and so it came to the CW. Greg Berlanti, one of the executive producers, basically said, that it wasn't going to cross over. But again, like you said, they did the same thing for Supergirl, and then when it didn't work out over at CBS, it came over to the CW. This is premiering on the CW with the same guy who's running the other 4 shows, and they're not at least going to be in the same universe. Like,
it'll happen.
It'll happen eventually.
Now, I wanted them to all be in the same Earth with the Flash and Arrow. Yeah. Because in my head, and I told you this when they announced it, I saw in my head, I wanted Black Lightning to show up and be like, oh, so you're the new kids? Like, let me show you how this is done.
You're the young bloods.
Yeah, like I want him to be able to go Oliver, who up until now has been able to just kind of like shrug off and be like, oh, I'm the head honcho, because Oliver's kind of like, he's the big man in the Arrowverse right now in terms of he's been doing it the longest. He's barking the orders at everybody, and I wanted Black Lightning to show up and be like, who's this rank amateur running the show for you guys? That's what I kind of wanted to see happen. I wanted him to look at me like, just sit down, son, and let the grown-ups work. So that's what I wanted to see, and I'm a little disappointed that I won't see it. However, if it's on another Earth, which I think is going to ultimately be the direction they take it, and he will eventually cross over, I will enjoy the time when he gets to just roll up to Arrow and Flash and be like, so you're the heroes here? You guys, how have you not been taken over already? because I mean, the Black Lightning, this show looks awesome.
Yeah.
I love the effects of him doing his Black Lightningness. I like how when he gets mad, all the electricity starts flickering around him.
Oh yeah.
I love the suit. Love the suit.
I had a question about that. So does the suit amplify his powers in this version? Because in I know in the comics, like he just had normal spandex, but it looks like he's naturally gifted with electrokinetics. But I guess so what's the suit for?
I don't know if the suit is just for the intimidation purposes, like it glows when he's using his powers, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going with that, but
yeah,
I do know that when he when I saw Black Lightning doing his thing, I was fanboying out like a 10-year-old.
When he's fighting the criminals.
Oh yeah, you get him, Black Lightning.
Is that your car? It was nice.
That was my favorite line of the entire thing. Is that right
pretty
there.
badass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna love Black Lightning. I cannot wait to watch this. I'm so excited. I love that they're even like showing it that he used to be a hero and now it's been some time. So he's an older character. The guy who's playing him still looks pretty young.
Yeah, still got some youth on him.
It's still a CW show, You can't actually get old people.
They need people who can operate on wires.
Yeah. So, but anyway, ostensibly he was doing it for a long time, and then he retired for a long time, and now he's coming out of retirement because you can only go so long without scratching that itch. When you have the power. But I'm so excited. I love how it looks. I like that he's gonna be that older guy who's been around a while, who's seen it all, and he's more experienced. And I love watching him fight because I was worried it was just gonna be a whole lot of lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Yeah.
But no, he's throwing down. He is throwing down with these guys. I'm loving that.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So we'll see how it I guess turns out and everything like that. But it looks good so far. So I'm really happy with what I've seen.
Yeah, but hopefully we can get this thing in Canada so that we can start seeing some regular crossovers and throwing down, and Black Lightning can show everyone who's who.
So what you're telling me is you went back, changed the entire timeline, and didn't learn from anything that you did before.
Nope. Stupid Barry.
Damn it, Barry.
Oh boy. All right. So moving on. It was just this last week there was a new Spider-Man Homecoming trailer and a poster for it. Have you seen the poster, Vernon?
I've seen the poster.
I've been referring to the poster as Iron Man 4 because it's like 3/5 Iron Man.
He definitely takes up focus out of and in the suit. I don't.
Yeah, it's not even just like he's in the corner or anything. Like there's a big giant Tony Stark's face, like in the foreground in front of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What I mean, that's my big worry. My big worry the whole time was like, I don't want this to be, I don't want this to be an Iron Man movie. I don't want it to be Iron Man and Spider-Man. But I mean, I'm looking at the poster, and the entire upper right-hand corner of the poster is Tony Stark, and the most forward character, like the character in the most front-facing foreground, is Iron Man. And yeah. I can see the entirety of the Iron Man suit. I can't even see all of Spider-Man.
Hey, are you really paying for Spider-Man though?
Kind of, yeah.
Iron Man's really the bread and butter of the MCU. You gotta milk it. I understand why Sony's doing this.
Okay, but I mean, let's take a look at who's just on the poster in terms of who's getting billing in the poster. So you get Tom Holland and Mike Keaton, who are Spider-Man and the enemy, and then Jon Favreau, by the way, is a character from Iron Man's movies. He's Happy, Iron Man's bodyguard. So he's the third highest billing right now as Iron Man's bodyguard. Then you have Zendaya, who I think is playing Mary Jane or a Mary Jane-esque character. I haven't really confirmed that. Then
More
Marissa
of a Mary
Tomei,
Jane-esque character.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei, who's Aunt May, and Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is with Marissa Tomei, with Aunt May. Iron Man and Aunt May have equal billing in a Spider-Man movie. Something is wrong with that.
I'm telling you, they gotta milk it for all it's worth, because Spider-Man's not gonna be crossing over after Infinity War.
Well, you know what? Whatever.
I'm predicting right now that the focus on Iron Man / Tony Stark is going to pull focus from this new Spider-Man, Peter Parker. This is the third Spider-Man we've had in a decade, and we're already overshadowing him with Iron Man or, Tony Stark.
Right. This is Iron Man 4 featuring Spider-Man.
Pretty much.
That's what that's the feel I'm getting from it. And they're revealing so much in the trailers. I probably know at least 2/3 of the movie to 3/4 of the movie right now.
Yes, that was going to be another point of mine, is that you can basically piece together from the trailers, from most likely from beginning to end, what it's going to be like, what's going to be happening, and things like that. There's going to be some funny, unexpected moments in the movie when you go see it, but as far as like they've pretty much blown their load on with these trailers, and I'm thinking it's probably. Yeah, I think they're just kind of like, they really want you to see this movie because a lot's riding on it. It feels like a lot's riding on it. Anyway.
Right. I mean, like, because Marvel's doing just fine, but Sony needs Spider-Man to get some traction.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that and just Robert Downey Jr. front and center is what's basically their bread and butter right now. So they have to play it up.
But it's not the movie we want. We want a Spider-Man movie. I mean, what's up with Iron Man just showing up in everybody's movies and being a huge part of it?
That's how Robert Downey Jr. negotiates his contracts. He doesn't want to do a full Iron Man movie, from what I've gathered. He wants to just kind of he wants to pop up and, basically control it. I mean, he's the highest paid actor out of all of them.
Yeah, because he gets a cut. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He shows up in a movie, he gets a cut.
So he needs to make that. Make that money. He's working.
Well, now he's going to get some Spider-Man money too.
Oh boy. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm probably not going to watch it opening weekend.
There's no chance I'm going to watch it opening. I can only see so many movies in opening weekend. Although I'm more likely to go opening weekend these days because the theater has assigned seats now. So.
Oh yeah, that's spreading around.
Yeah, so it's no longer, because the reason I don't like going on opening night is because you're waiting in line for so long hoping you get a decent seat. Well, I can just get my seat. Like, I already have my tickets for opening night of Wonder Woman.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Gosh, the way you feel about the Arrowverse stuff, I feel about the movies, the superhero movies. I'm kind of tired.
I know, and believe me, I get it, because Man of Steel was trying, and Batman v Superman was well documented on Hero Talk. But it's me, and it's DC, and it's the DC movies, and it's a Wonder Woman movie, and so I'm gonna go see it opening weekend. Whether it looks good though, I would say, even if it looked terrible though, I would probably still be there opening weekend. Much the same way I was there opening weekend for Suicide Squad. I was there opening weekend for Batman v Superman. I will be there opening weekend for Justice League. For every stupid movie that they come out with, I will be there opening weekend. However, Wonder Woman looks good. And maybe I'm just that guy who just can't learn my lesson and will continue saying, oh, it looks good. Oh, it looks good, until I go in and get disappointed. I don't know. But I do think it looks good. And early buzz has been positive, so we'll see.
We'll see. I'm probably gonna... Love you, Mom. I'm probably going to need to take you to see this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So before we get too far away from Spider-Man, there was some other news that was released recently. It was that there's going to be a solo Venom movie. Don't ask me how they're going to somehow get a solo Venom movie, but not Spider-Man. Spider-Man has to be in it, right? Do you know if he's in it?
No. I actually kind of forgot that they had recently cast Tom Hardy as I can't talk today.
As Venom. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
I think it's a good. It's a good. I mean, he looked giant and menacing as Bane, so I think he can look giant and menacing as Venom.
Yeah.
But
I think he could do it.
It makes you have to question, like, the whole, is the symbiotic suit going to be on Spider-Man, then make it to Venom? If that's the case, then how is Venom supposed to? Why would he be spider-like? I
don't know how they're going to make this work. But if they're coming out with Iron Man 4 and then Venom, they're going to have to come out with another Spider-Man movie to kind of explain that, if they are connected at all.
Right. You would think maybe that it would be smarter to introduce Venom in Spider-Man Homecoming and then give him his own movie. Because that way you have the whole thing where, like, Tony Stark, like, well, you can't have my suit. And he's like, well, I found a space suit. And then, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Although that would make Spider-Man Homecoming an even busier movie than it already is, and I don't have any faith in the studio to somehow have Venom be in that movie and have kept it a secret for so long.
Yeah, it would have leaked at some point. I don't see how this is all gonna work. I just will wait to see how it plays out in terms of what the details are that they release, because they're gonna need to basically step up their game and release as much as they can on this too, because there's no way that they're as comfortable and cushy as Marvel is.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see what's coming out. I like Venom as a character. I think Tom Hardy's a good casting call. I just don't see how it's going to work when you introduce Venom by himself in a movie without any of the Spider-Man history with it.
Right. So we'll see what happens, but Tom Hardy is a good choice.
Yep, I agree with that. So I didn't have any other major news I wanted to go into, and I gave some thought and maybe some other stuff, but I don't know how long ago some of that thing happened, and this was a very recent idea, so it was really just the stories that I remembered hearing about recently. I don't know. Do you have anything else?
I guess it's worth noting that Zack Snyder has dropped out of Justice League for now temporarily.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he unfortunately there was a family tragedy that took him out of. I think they were doing reshoots and there was still some editing, but he had to leave for personal reasons, and obviously, I mean, your family's more important, and that takes priority. And Joss Whedon is going to be coming in and finishing up Justice League. I know now. Again, the most important thing here is the well-being of Zack Snyder's family, and so I haven't made any personal commentary about Joss Whedon because I felt it would be a little in poor taste, because this isn't something that you can anticipate, and this is obviously a terrible thing that happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Joss Whedon would have been my ideal choice if I'd been given the option. However, this is a situation where somebody with Joss Whedon's credentials is willing to do it. I'd say you let him do it, because you don't want to make this into a bigger deal, because that's only going to hurt Zack Snyder and his family. You want this to be as smooth and easy a transition. And, I mean, Joss Whedon, for as much as I'm not a fan of some of his work I think is astounding. So, I mean, he's got the resume for it. I know some people don't like how he does things, and they're kind of worried that he'll do something to screw it up, but I don't know. I like it. I think he'll probably do a decent job.
I mean, and plus the movie's already done. They're just working on reshoots and editing. I mean, the thing comes out in November, so I don't know what people are worried about.
Yeah, I mean, how much really did they need to do?
I don't know, but I mean, the filming wrapped months ago.
That's what I thought. Like, I thought this was basically in the can. And so, I mean, if this is just some editing and reshoots, it's not like Joss Whedon's going to get everybody back together and say, okay, everyone, we need to kill a new movie. We need to kill a beloved character. So
salty about that.
Yeah, so Batman, I'm so sorry. You're not going to make it in this cut. It almost, what initially I think I was a little bit surprised is that when it is so far completed and like it's so far to almost done, why do you get somebody as big as Joss Whedon?
I think they're trying to draw more attention to the movie because Joss Whedon, they just got him signed for, what is it, Batgirl movie?
Yeah, he's going to be doing Batgirl. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So they got him to sign on to do the Batgirl movie, and I'm pretty sure it's connected to this universe. But so I mean, I guess they were like, who do we have that can kind of finish this up? We need a director to stand in. So I guess this is good publicity, especially because I guess Joss Whedon left on bad terms with Marvel, so they want to make sure that they boost him up, but also without making Zack Snyder look bad either.
Right. I mean, because like I said, the most important thing is that the Zack Snyder and his family get the time that they need. Exactly. Another person that they could have brought in is that they could have brought in Patty Jenkins.
Oh, that's a good point. She's probably doing premieres and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that right now is kind of a busy time for her because her big blockbuster is about to open up. But
yeah.
Still, if this works out for her, I think this is her first really big, like action movie type thing. If you look at her previous credits, it's stuff like a few episodes of Entourage, an episode of Arrested Development. She did the movie Monster with Charlize Theron.
Oh, never saw it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of TV shows and a TV movie, and of course, Monster was, which was a huge hit. So I mean, that's a significant feather to put in your cap. But I mean, Wonder Woman is her first like huge blockbuster movie, and so I am rooting for her, because if it does well, then we're gonna get to see more of Patty Jenkins, and because I happen I like her style in the movies that she's done, and so. Not that I watch Entourage, but Arrested Development's a funny show. But, I'd like to see more of her style. And if somebody coming right off of Wonder Woman probably at least has the right mindset to be able to finish editing a Justice League movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of Arrested Development, they're renewed for another season.
They sure are. Good call. It was renewed. It's going to be coming back 2018. Now,
this confuses me because I thought that the plan was to make season 4 and then wrap everything up with a movie.
So I don't know if that was really the plan as much as it was just an option that they had in the back of their head.
I mean, I don't know if I can take another movie of this.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry,
another season.
Another season.
So this was interesting. I read this not that long ago, is that the producer at one point thought to himself, like, I guess he was worried about in syndication, because the way the Netflix shows work, since they're all different times, and the length of running is different. If it went into syndication, somebody else would have to cut the episodes down to be the right length to show, and so they got really nervous about, like, well, somebody who is not really a part of the show is going to be the one who edits it down, and they have to be 22-minute episodes. So you're going to get somebody who has nothing to do with production, who's going to take a 35-minute episode and turn it into 22 minutes, and they got really nervous. So they went through and they re-edited all of the episodes to be like 13 22-minute episodes, and they had, like, even Ron Howard came in to do some new narrating, and what they did is they kind of got rid of the whole Pulp Fiction going back and forth through time thing. And so in these episodes, these 13 or so 22-minute episodes, it's actually in chronological order, and they say it works. But, I mean, they created it just for the sake of syndication. Right now, it's sitting on a shelf somewhere, just waiting for if those episodes ever get sold, because that's what they'll give the networks. And I think maybe a nice thing to do for the audience to kind of build some hype again for season, I guess it would be season 5, would be release those episodes to Netflix and let us watch it that way. Like a season, I don't know what you'd call it, a season 4 companion or a season 4 alternate, but let us watch those episodes and then let that build some anticipation for season 5, because a lot of people watched season 4 and they didn't really know what to make of it.
I didn't like it.
I thought it was funny. Yeah. I thought even some of the newer jokes worked, but at the same time there was some stuff in there that I couldn't help myself to think, I don't like this storytelling method they're doing, where you almost have to make a flowchart and figure out at what point in time all of these events are happening.
Yeah, because aren't they? I got the impression that they were all happening around the same time within the course of a couple of weeks or a couple of months.
Well, it was actually over a course of several years, like about. Over the course of, I would say, maybe 5 years, all this stuff is allegedly happening.
Holy cow, okay.
Yeah, so there's like, they'll take you through a character, and they'll walk you through that character for a few years, and then this character, but then they start the show, and like, on the very end side of it, and then they go all the way back to it was just confusing, and you had to watch it through a couple of times just to kind of get a feel for when stuff was happening, and I really think the new cuts would have been better. And I'd like to see those, so I really hope that they get released sometime.
Yeah, look forward to it. Well, maybe not me, but you can look forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm still gonna watch whatever it was. I'm gonna watch it because I do like Arrested Development. It's probably one of the more entertaining shows that I've ever watched. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that was. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I would have totally forgot. You see, this is why we need to figure out I need to start making the list now for next month, because that's going to help us.
That way we can recap a little bit better. I hear you. But I think this is a first go. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Hey, do you know what else you can do? Because, we want to be like other podcasts. You know that if you have questions for us, Vernon, I'm asking you as though you don't already know the answer, but did you know, Vernon, that if you have any questions or anything you want to bring up or to have you get yourself on the show and interact with us, do you know there's an email address for Hero Talk?
No way. What is that email address?
Oh, that email address is herotalk@enthusiacs.com. And if you send us a question, Vernon, did you know this? If you send us a question to herotalk@enthusiacs.com, I will read it during these monthly updates and answer your question.
So you're saying it's just as simple as sending an email to herotalk@enthusiacs.com.
I'm saying that if you email herotalk@enthusiacs.com, all you have to do is that, and then I will get your question, and then I will read it on the air, and I will answer it.
I'm going to send an email to herotalk@enthusiacs.com right now.
Excellent. So should you out there at Hero Talk Land. Okay, that shtick was getting a little. I was wondering how long we were going to keep it going. I was like, how is it going to be me or him who breaks? It was me. I broke first.
I did improv, okay? I'm a boy of the theater.
Oh, well, excuse me. I didn't do improv. I should do improv. I bet I'd be good at it.
There's probably some places where you can do that in your area.
You know what? There really aren't. I looked once. I thought it'd be a good exercise, like a mental exercise, and I looked, and
yeah.
I mean, like we're talking like I'd have to go to a city at least a couple hours away. There was none around me, and I'm not driving to Yukon to do. Plus, I can't go to a college to do improv because that means I would be the old dude with all the college students doing improv. I got like a Michael Scott from The Office impression of them. Like I can't do that. I'd be super. Plus, they'd be dropping references I'd never heard of before. Like everybody dab, and I'd be like, "What is that? What's everyone doing?"
Oh man, I had an old moment with that. That was terrible.
Oh, the first time I heard of somebody dabbing, I'm now the guy who has to go to Google and be like, "What is dabbing?" That's me. I had to Google whip nene, by the way.
Oh no.
Somebody had said that to me, and I kind of smiled and pretended I knew what it was, and pulled out my phone and Googled whip nene.
It's okay. It's all right. It's the new generation of stuff.
Yeah. Although I have my own stuff that I can reference that nobody knows. Like nobody knows what's going on with Elena of Avalor. You know, that's me. She's a princess on Disney
Is
Channel.
that the cartoon thing?
Yeah, the princess. She's the new princess.
Wow, I'm hanging out with a lot of children as of late. I can't believe I knew that.
Should I know that? Is that?
Oh my gosh, nieces and nephews.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
Jesus.
Oh,
is there any other piece of news that we wanted
that's
to go
awful.
over?
No, I got
really dark on this.
Yeah, this may not make the final cut. All right, no, I don't have any other news. That's all I know about for right now.
Email us herotalk@enthusiacs.com.
Yeah, herotalk@enthusiacs.com. In the meantime, why not? I don't know. How do we? I normally do like the final thoughts, but this isn't a normal Hero Talk, so I'm not going to do final thoughts. But Vernon, where can people find you?
Everywhere.
Start
with Twitter though. Start with Twitter though. Let's go with Twitter. At BLKDRGN15 on Twitter, and it's pretty much the same thing for Instagram.
You're on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram.
Is there anything good on Instagram?
If you follow the right people, you were on Instagram.
I might still be on Instagram, but I know I haven't checked it in a long time.
Well, get on that. Because that's the place to be.
I guess. I don't know.
People take pictures of their food and action figure collection in just like theatrical ways. People show you what they're doing on vacation. I'm looking at someone right now who's at the Waffle House as of today. I don't get what that's about. Someone bought The Mist, a surrealistic adventure that will become your world. Apparently it's a video game.
What, Myst? Myst is an old video game. You remember Myst?
No.
Myst is like from like the mid-90s.
No, never heard of it.
Yeah.
Guess I'm not a real gamer then.
Oh, we're not going to get in this real gamer talk. That's Jeff's stuff right there. I'm not talking about what constitutes real gamer. But yeah.
Bear Fang.
Yep. No, I never really got into Instagram. Like, I don't know who to follow because it seemed like Instagram was more pictures than, you know what I mean? Like, it was more pictures than information. And I felt like I kept following all of these people and I would just get like a picture of them at the beach or something. I'm like, okay, well, thanks for that picture of you at the beach, The Rock, but I don't really know what that does for me.
It's inspirational. And by the way, follow what you like. People cosplaying, people doing artwork of your favorite stuff. Again, action figures. So, funny quotes.
Sure. Hey, if you want me to get on Instagram more, email herotalk@enthusiacs.com and make your case for Instagram.
There you go. That's what we'll do.
There we go. That's our official question of the month. Should I use Instagram more? Why not?
I mean, go for it.
I don't know. We didn't really make a plan for a question of the month. I'm not actually going to do a question of the month, because what's going to happen is I'm going to get like maybe one person the first day, and then everyone's going to forget, because it's going to be a full month before I do one of these again.
You can make it an award thing.
I can.
Gift card or something.
I think your reward will be a virtual high five. I don't know.
We'll email you back. Email us at herotalk@enthusiacs.com, and if you win, we'll email you back a virtual high five.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm going to email right now. Maybe I can win.
High five yourself.
Self high five. All right. And you know what? This is going horribly off the rails, so let's just close it out. All right. If you wanna follow me, I am at Judge Greg Is Law on Twitter. I think I'm also at Judge Greg Is Law on Instagram. I don't know. Vernon, you follow me on Instagram. Is that what I am? If you want to follow me on Instagram, go ahead. Bear in mind, I don't use it, and I don't think I ever posted any pictures, so it's...
You did not. I think you're just at Judge Greg, if I recall, but I've got a lot of people I'm following, so it may take me a while to find you again.
Yeah. So, whatever. But Twitter, you can find me at Judge Greg Is Law, and if you want to follow the Enthusiacs, we are at Enthusiacs on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. Just search for Enthusiacs. And Vernon, thanks for coming on the first Hero Talk Monthly, whatever it's called.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and until next time, this is Judge Greg saying, now the story of a website who lost everything, and the one host who had no choice but to keep them all together. It's Enthusiacs. Good night, everybody.